Ever catch yourself like just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through apps and websites,
Yeah.
and it's like they're all fighting for, I don't know, your eyeballs.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
a little much sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive on that very thing, the attention economy. It's kind of where digital products, they're like designed to suck you in. So we'll be looking at how they do that and what it means for us, really.
Yeah, it's a really interesting area, and you've come to the right place to unpack it all.
So let's start basic. What exactly is this attention economy we hear so much about?
Okay, well, think about this. Your attention, the time you spend focusing on something, it's a limited resource.
Yeah, there's only so many hours in the day.
Exactly. But for companies, especially those with these free digital services, well, your attention, that's their gold. The more time you're on their platform, the more valuable that platform becomes.
Makes sense. I mean, more time on an app equals more advocacy, right?
Exactly. And it even goes beyond just the ads. You've got data collection, potential subscriptions, even just boosting their overall value. More time spent, basically, equals more ways for them to make money.
So it's like we're the product being sold, not the app itself, which is, I don't know, a little creepy when you think about it.
It's the reality, though. Companies are making bank off this model. Take, for example, a streaming platform like, say, WatchMore. They wanted to keep users glued even longer, so they introduced that recommended videos feature, where another episode just starts playing automatically.
Oh, I've totally fallen for that one. Before I know it, I'm 3 episodes deeper than I planned.
See? It's effective. Apparently, WatchMore saw a huge jump in how much time people were spending watching, and that translates directly into more expensive ad slots. We're talking millions of dollars, potentially, just from keeping our eyes on the screen a little bit longer.
Okay, now we're getting into the unnerving stuff. Like, how do they do that? Make us spend so much time on their platforms, I mean. What's the secret?
It's not so much a secret as it is a really well-designed system, one that uses psychology and, increasingly, things like algorithms and AI.
Give us the inside scoop. What kind of tactics are we talking?
Well, think about it. Those notifications that never stop pulling you back in even when you weren't even thinking about the app. Or that endless scroll you see on social media feeding you content forever. And then you've got personalized recommendations. The algorithms learn what you like, and bam, there's content you're more likely to click on.
It's wild. It's like they're reading my mind with some of those recommendations, I gotta say. I click every time.
That's exactly what they're counting on. They're predicting our behavior, and they're getting really good at it too.
So how can we get a grip on this without, needing a degree in computer science? What's a good way to picture it?
Okay, imagine a toy store, right? The coolest toys, they're right up front, grabbing your attention. Bright colors, maybe some music playing, all designed to make you stay longer. And the longer you're there, well, the more likely you are to buy something. These platforms are doing the same thing, just with pixels instead of plastic.
So basically, we, the users, are like kids in a candy store, just drawn to whatever's brightest. Which, speaking of attention grabbing, isn't that how TikTok basically took over the internet?
Oh, 100%. They are like the kings and queens of the attention economy, really.
So how'd they do it? Become such a, internet giant? I mean,
Yeah.
What's their secret weapon?
It's all in the algorithm, really. It figures out what you like super fast, like what you watch and for how long, what you're liking and sharing, the whole 9 yards. It's personalization on another level.
It's amazing, but also kind of creepy if you think about it too much, right?
Right. It's like that friend who always seems to know a little too much about what you're into. But for TikTok, it works. People get hooked on seeing stuff they actually like. I mean, it's no surprise they had that huge spike in users back in 2020. People were spending a lot of time on that app.
It wasn't something crazy like an hour a day on average?
Something like that, yeah. Which is, a ton of time. And that's what pushed them over the edge. Suddenly, bam, they've got 1 billion users every single month. It's crazy.
And it's all because they cracked the code on grabbing and holding our attention, which, I don't know, it's impressive from a business standpoint, but is it ethical? That's the question, right?
$1 million question for sure. It's a huge debate and a complicated one because there are definitely some valid concerns about, designing platforms to be this engaging.
Where do we even start with that?
Well, addiction is a big one. When something's designed to keep you hooked, it's easy to, lose track of time. We've all been there, right? Scrolling, and suddenly it's been an hour.
Oh, tell me about it. Some days I'm like, where did the day even go?
Exactly. And then there's the whole manipulation side of things. If the algorithm's always feeding you exactly what you want, are you really in control of what you're seeing? Or are you being, I don't know, subtly pushed towards certain ideas, certain products without even realizing it?
It's like we're in a digital echo chamber or something, only hearing what we already agree with.
Exactly. So then it's like, what's that doing to our ability to, think critically, to actually
Mhm.
listen to different viewpoints and have real conversations with people who think differently than us? Big, big questions.
This is getting deep fast. And it's not even just about like individuals wasting time on their phones anymore, right? There's bigger stuff at play here.
Totally. This is about like society as a whole and what kind of future we're building for ourselves. That's why talking about this attention economy is so crucial. We have to figure out how to use this technology in a way that, I don't know, doesn't backfire on us. It's about more than just tweaking an algorithm here or there. It's about deciding what role we want technology to play in our lives, full stop.
So then what can we do about it?
One big thing is giving users more control. Imagine, what if you knew exactly how the algorithms worked? And what if you could change them, at least a little, to better suit, I don't know, your actual needs? It'd be huge.
So instead of feeling like we're, I don't know, at the mercy of the algorithm, we actually have some say in how we experience the internet.
Exactly. You could decide how much time you wanted to spend on certain apps, or even customize what you saw in your social media feeds. Think about how much more in control you'd feel.
I love the idea, but would these companies ever go for that? I mean, they're making money hand over fist by keeping us hooked.
That's the challenge, the tough balance to strike. And that's where, the idea of regulation comes in. Governments around the world are trying to figure out how to, I don't know, keep things in check to protect users without stifling innovation.
So like actual laws about how these platforms can operate.
Exactly. We're already starting to see it happen. For example, some places are talking about making social media companies be more transparent about how their algorithms work and give users more control over their own data. That's a start.
But it seems like it could be a losing battle, right? Like they make a rule, the companies find a workaround.
It's definitely a concern, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. Even small steps can make a difference. Ultimately, it's about setting clear expectations for how we want this technology to work in a way that respects our well-being.
So it's bigger than just laws. It's about changing how we think about technology as a society, how we design it, how we use it, everything.
Exactly. And that takes all of us working together, not just lawmakers or tech companies, researchers, everyday users like you and me, everybody. We have to figure this out together.
It's a tall order, but I don't know, feels kind of important if we don't want to end up like ruled by algorithms, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but this is all a little like overwhelming. Just realizing how much this stuff is influencing us, even when we don't realize it.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It feels like we need, I don't know, a whole new way of thinking about technology to deal with this, right?
Totally. We're so used to having it around, it's easy to forget that we actually have a choice in how much we let it, run our lives.
So how do we do that? Take back some control. I mean, be more intentional about, I don't know, our phones, our apps, all of it.
It starts with remembering how valuable your attention actually is. It's not something to just give away for free. It's something to protect, to be careful about who you give it to.
It's like my attention is precious, more valuable than gold.
Right. And just like with anything valuable, you'd be picky about how you spend it. You'd think twice before downloading that app or letting every little notification pull you back in. You choose what you spend your time on, basically.
It's like being mindful about like
Yeah.
what we're feeding our minds. Right?
It's like people are careful about what food they eat.
Exactly. It's about balance, not about giving it up entirely. You don't have to go off the grid or anything, but maybe set some times for checking social media, or decide how much news you're really up for reading each day, because it can be a lot.
Yeah, I could use some of that, actually. Less doom scrolling, more, I don't know, living.
Exactly. And don't forget about just disconnecting completely sometimes. Put the phone on airplane mode, go for a walk, read a book, have an actual face-to-face conversation. Give your brain a break from all the, the noise.
Funny how all that stuff used to just be called life before.
Right. Sometimes we need a reminder.
Well, this has been eye-opening for sure. I can't believe how much there is to this whole attention economy thing.
It's a big deal, for sure. I think it's safe to say we'll all be paying a little more attention to our attention from now on.
Okay.
That's our show for today. But for you listening, as you head back out into the world, here's something to think about. If our attention really is so valuable, like we've been saying, how can you use yours more intentionally, both online and off?